Lisa Marvin Art. We have a big learning day today. I rewatched my old video about layering opaques and transparents, and it was kind of old and I've learned a lot since then, so I wanted to update. So today is all about how to layer to get the best results, hopefully. A lot of people don't know how to tell if paints are transparent, semi-transparent, or opaque. So most bottles have it. For instance, this is turquoise Amsterdam, and you can see this square is black, meaning it's opaque. And something like this, oh, there's paint on this, you can't see. This is Prussian blue, and you can see the square is empty, which means it's transparent. Something like this, Liquitex soft body square. This is Matisse, empty square. If your paint doesn't have a marking on it, you could put a Sharpie line across and then paint. And if you see the black through the color, that means it's transparent or semi-transparent. If you don't see it, it's opaque. Pigments, on the other hand, are transparent. So you want to think about that while you're layering. Now you could add an opaque paint to your pigment to make it opaque if you wanted to, but we're going to leave those for now. So the whole thing about, now I'm not a scientist, and there's many more scientists, and I'm sure you're going to blast me with all your information, which I welcome. It's the density of the paints. So for the bloom, a lot of people say you have to layer an opaque color first because they're heavier to hold up the other paints. However, something like this Prussian blue, for instance, even though it's transparent, it's quite heavy. And the reason I know that is because also it works well as a cell activator. Questions about cell activators, they say you have to use an opaque paint and it will work. That's not necessarily true. It's the density of it, because I love Payne's Gray, as you know, and that's semi-transparent, and that works great because it's heavier. Prussian blue also works great because it's darker and heavier. I've tried turquoise, and it depends, it works, but it's just not, it doesn't give you the cell definition that you're looking for. Something like yellows are always very difficult because they're very thin, and you can tell when you use yellows that a lot of yellows kind of mix in to the other colors. So the whole idea about layering is getting the most out of your colors, and you want to see the depth through that. And the way you can see the depth through that is by layering opaques and transparents and opaques and sparklies on top of each other. And when you blow, they all pop through. Next thing is, white cell activator is different than a dark cell activator. I find you get much more lacing with white cell activator, and you can get better peacock cells with a dark cell activator because of the way the paint kind of surrounds, the cell activator surrounds the other paint. So the colors I'm going to be using today are blues, and I think I'll do a few different examples. But for the pigments, I love this little pigment. You can get them at fluidart.co because you don't have to add anything else to them, and they dry the same as when you pour them. So I'm going to use this mermaid. I really like it because it has like a greenish sparkle to it, and I really love their gold, Harvest Gold, and I really like using sneakers, iridescence, and in the pores, and this is velvet, and it has a blue, like interference blue action happening. What else are we gonna use? So I have the turquoise. No, I didn't even pour the turquoise. I will pour the turquoise because it's opaque. My other favorite, I should go get sneakers soon. My other favorite opaque color to lay on top is this sky blue Amsterdam. The other opaque color I have is this muted turquoise. Now it looks very similar to this transparent Prussian blue, so we'll see how I layer it. And I really, really like this color, Southern Ocean Blue. So we're going for a kind of beachy feel. I'll just do a bunch of coasters today, and we'll see what happens, because you have to think about where you lay your paints for the cell activator to hold up. For instance, if you do only pigments, your cell activator will, even if you use a dark cell activator, it will look more lacy and it might sink because the pigments don't hold it up as well if you kind of build the foundation for it to stay. So we'll see how that goes. Also, I keep forgetting, I want to thank you guys so much for donating to my little PayPal link, which I never talk about, but it's there, and you guys have been donating and helping me make this my full-time job, because it seems like, it's a fun full-time job, but I've just been doing it more than my real job. So I want to thank you for that. And also, my last video, someone commented they were worried because it looked like I have a black eye. This eye right here. I do not have a black eye. I am fine. When I was 16, I pulled a car door into my face. And since then, when I'm tired, this goes dark. So not to worry, I'm just tired. Thanks for noticing. So let me turn my camera down and get to work. See you in a second. Okay, so what I've done, this is my big spinner, because my other one this is just a cake spinner, and it's 18 by something, 12 maybe? And I like it for my bigger pieces. I just have a little measuring cup. I put some tape, some paint under, put some tape here, not tape, paint, and then it's pretty stable-ish. We'll see. So I'm using for my base paint, Sherwin-Williams. Now, I really like it. It's not too thick, but what happens is when you pour it, it doesn't really move. So you have to pour little and then kind of smoosh it to the edges, because you don't want it to be too thick, because if it's too thick, it cracks when it dries. So I'll just go like that. I'm relearning about coasters, because I haven't done coasters in forever. So, but it's good because it helped me go back big. Okay, so I laid my paint down, and you get bubbles when you smoosh it around, but I don't have my torch anywhere, so we'll just have to deal with the bubbles. And I don't have gloves as usual. Deal with it, right? Okay, so let's start with the basic thing here. We're gonna start with the opaque turquoise, okay? The muted turquoise. I'll just put a little bit. Okay, so we want to think, what is next? Well, how about a little sparkly on top of that? Sure, why not? And I will do, so my first one's going to be the white cell activator. It's the Shelly Art recipe, if you want to know what it is. I have a 15% off code in my description. The class is super great. So because I'm doing white, you want to think, what's going to go under the white? Well, oh Lord have mercy. I'm going to put this under the white. This is the transparent, and when you put transparents under the white, sometimes they peek through and it's really nice. So you want to plan forwards and backwards. So I have that sparkly, and I want to put an opaque in the middle. So why don't I put another sparkly? I'll put a little bit of gold. This gold is great. And then I'm going to put an opaque on top. Maybe I'll put some turquoise on top so you can see. So what will happen is on that layer, the peacocks will hopefully pop through that turquoise. After that, I'm going to put my interference blue. Now, normally you want to put your interference, they look really great over darker colors too, but since we're going to go dark after this, we'll just try this. And it just makes everything look 3D. And then finally, I will do that ocean blue and then the white on top. Now, I always put too much paint on. So we just got to deal with that one too. All right. So I'm going to put a bit of the white cell activator. A little more. All right. Get her in the middle. So we'll wait for it to come back. And we'll see if we got the cells we're looking for as it comes back in. I know I blow kind of funny. Apparently it's strange, but I blow as I turn. I just find it super easier. So you could already see that ocean blue underneath the white. It kind of mixes in, which looks really nice. I'm seeing a bit of the peacocks coming out. We'll wait a minute. And while we're waiting, I will get the sides off. This is a hexagon tile. In the States, apparently it's very hard for you guys to find. I got it at Home Depot. And it's actually hard for me to find plain square tiles. So there you go. All right, so we're ready for a little spin. Hopefully we won't fly everywhere. When you're spinning, you want to spin the crap out of it to get all the paint off so it doesn't crack, but you also, that's why you don't want things to warp, so that's why you have to put the perfect amount of base paint down. It's all a science. It's very hard, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes they just don't dry nicely at all. So I'm gonna keep spinning the crap out of it. The next one I wanna do is I wanna see what happens, or I mean, I know what happens, but there we go. So you can see some peacock cells popping through with that turquoise, and it gives a 3D look with the gold and the interference. I hope you can see that. So that is number one. I'll put this over here. I really love the depth that we get with that. All right, so next, I'm gonna just put a little paint on the bottom here. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna layer differently, and perhaps I will do the Payne's Gray Cell Activator. Just a little. All right. So let's start with the interference and see what that does. Now this is pretty thick enough, so let's hope that she pops through nicely. All right, so since I'm doing the black cell activator, I'm gonna top it with that light blue and really get the opaque on the most top. So we have that. So now let's go, I'm going to go, so it's not super, what am I doing? I'm gonna go with, this is, which looks like the turquoise, but it's not. This is the Prussian blue. So it's it's transparent. All right. And then why don't we do some of the mermaid pigment on top of that. All right. And why don't I do the, I'll do turquoise, gold, light blue. See what happens. So this is the opaque. I'm just getting messy now because we don't care, do we? A little bit of the gold. And then we'll see if the light blue makes those peacocks pop with that black or gray cell activator. It's a little thick. We'll see what happens. Okay. Get my gray going. Okay. Let's just get her back there. Oop. So you can see those cells are forming, and you can see those peacocks coming up. Even better. So let's give it a minute. So you can see how the turquoise is breaking over the other colors, and even the gold is breaking over. And that's why gray or black cell activator gives you the juicy kind of cells that you're looking for. And let's see, when I spin it, if that interference on the bottom even did anything. Wait, one more second. There's really cute little ones that are gonna leave in a minute, but look at those, if you can see. Okay. When I'm upstairs where my studio is, I spin it really fast, but all right. And there you go. Oh, I really like that. So let me just pause so I can take a picture of these, and then we'll get back to doing different, maybe we'll do all pigments so I can show you what I mean by the sinking. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so let's go to the next. Let's test out what happens if we just use pigments. Now it's not bad, it will just give you a different look. You won't have the contrast that you want to get if you wanted peacock cells. If you just want lacing, then that's totally fine. You just have to make sure that everything is the right consistency. So why don't I just start with the gold. And then I'll do the mermaid. No, I'll do the interference. And for this, I'll use black, or the gray, because I find white cell activator is heavier with the titanium and it sinks more. So let's see what happens if I just use the gray. Or, I don't want to be crazy. Should I just put an opaque right on top? What are we gonna do? Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm gonna put this light blue right on top, and we'll see exactly if we'll get peacocks just with pigments and an opaque on top. So I'll grab my gray. Okay. You can see my blue is quite thick to blow out on top of the other pigments. So not much peacock, a little bit, but not really, but you can see the difference already. There's not much happening within the cells. Right? I mean, there's some cute little, but it's a totally different look, right? So I'll wait for that to happen. And okay. I really love the last one I did with that gray cell activator. Those peacocks are just peacocking right out of there. All right. I don't know if I love this one. That's good to see. I mean, perhaps if I had better color choices, but it also could have been because my blue is just too thick for the rest of them. So let's see. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna look at it in the light. I mean, the interference color that it gives is really nice. It's kind of watercolory, but it's not really what we're looking for. Or I should say what I'm looking for, but that's good to know. All right, what other test? I mean, the sparkles are actually really great, so I don't want to talk anyone down from it. All right, I got 2 coasters left to do. Why don't we start with my Prussian blue, which is not opaque but dark. Did I do that already? I don't even remember. Okay, and you know what? I'm gonna do a different pattern this time, actually. I actually like the look when there's different things going on. All right, so we'll start with the Prussian blue. And I'm gonna use the Payne's Gray Cell Activator, so we wanna work backwards. So since, actually, I'm lying. Let's start, am I lying? Yeah, let's start with the turquoise. So we're gonna do opaque, then we will do Prussian blue transparent. On top of that, why don't we do mermaid? Okay, so we have opaque, transparent, pigment. Why don't I do the dark, this is opaque, which looks similar, but it's the muted turquoise. So we'll do opaque, then we'll do the interference on top of the dark, opaque, interference, and then, what did I say? Opaque, interference, what I'm gonna do, I'll just load them all on. This is the transparent ocean blue. And then, let's not forget the gold pigment on top of the transparent. I'm just loading in all the paints. And then, okay, why don't I leave it here to show you what happens when you have a pigment under the cell activator. So we still have peacocks underneath, but let's see how that holds up. A little more cell activator. All right. All right, we got those peacocks coming. It's a little darker, but I'll show you so far. Even the iridescent blue is making some nice peacocks. So we'll wait till it comes in. So you see, it's endless what you could do. And it's just a lot of practicing to see what looks good under what, but you always have to think about your layers from start to finish. Sometimes you get lucky, but ooh, I'm really liking these peacocks actually. Okay, let's spin it. This gold is really great, I have to say. Ooh, lots happening. Another spin. Let me just tilt it a little bit. Okay. Yeah, this one's action-packed. There you go. So I think we're good for now. I hope you got something out of it. And please let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, by the way, please don't give me a thumbs down. I realize it's not perfect. And most of the things I'm not even happy with. So you don't need to like give it a thumbs down. Just keep on scrolling. I get it. It's not like a Bruce Willis movie. You know what I mean? So thank you. I hear you. But leave the thumbs only on the up. Okay? Thanks for joining. Have a good day. Bye.